Happy Monday, guys. Glad to see you. Glad to be here. Glad to be doing a new show and not be pulling my hair out because I want to start off today by checking in with chat. So, a lot of you are here. Great to see everybody. I see Bjorn Jorgensen, Johnny Sorensen. They almost rhyme. They actually do rhyme. I got Bill Wifta, Anonymous Dude 123, Ian Sweeney, who says, looking at the title of today's video, it occurs to me that the word tomfoolery is criminally underused. I agree, which is why I used it. Thank you for noticing. Kieran Ball is here as well, doing some of the work for me with regard to saying hello to everybody. Thank you so much. I also see Will McLaughlin, who's driving. Be safe out there. Hope the battery lasts. Jim Salzberg is here and is here live. I love seeing Jimmy. Jimmy, good to see you. Kid, this ain't your night. We're going for the price on Wilson. I'm not even sure what that's from, and I assume that's the voice that goes with it. Karen Ball asks, isn't Tomfoolery the first G.I. Joe classified figure exclusive to Hasbro Pulse? Probably, and we're going to get into that in a little bit. I also see Jason Garcia Nolan, as well as Ben Stutley, and I see Rolando as well. I think I got everybody. If I missed you, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to, but here we go. So, hope you had a great weekend. I hope your Monday's turning out okay and that your week is starting off with some fun. We've certainly got some toy news to share, a little bit from all over the place. Okay, yeah, we're going to talk about Hasbro. Yes, we're going to get to the Hasbro Pulse stuff and a few other things along the way. So do not worry. We're getting there. But I do want to start off with a little bit of news from my neck of the toy woods. Wave 1 orders for Resurrection Toys are being picked up and shipped out tomorrow. Tomorrow. We had a bit of a delay that was not our fault. 100% the shipping partner's fault. It was understandable circumstances. It happens. It's okay. But they promise that's not going to happen again. We believe them. And like I said, it's getting picked up and shipped out tomorrow. Wave 2, we're shooting for the weekend, probably a week from today, depending upon how things go. We're waiting on final numbers of what we have in hand. We're trying to get Wave 2 out as quickly as we can, just because it took us longer to get Wave 1 out than we thought. So we have some flexibility, but just know it's coming. It's finally coming, right? And I also see Joe DeBecky here in chat. And James Salzberg brings up a point from Nerdzoic that definitely is something that it's hitting hard. And it's part of what we're talking about today with regard to a lot of the stuff Hasbro projected for next year is coming this year. So a lot of stuff's hitting a lot sooner than it's supposed to. And there's certain items that I'm really worried about in regard to that. Some big ticket items that hit Pulse over the last couple of months, including the Amazing Friends 3-pack. But just be aware of that, guys. Make sure that you're ready to go on those items. We'll talk a bit more about Hasbro as we go through. Now, our first news item will have to wait because I want to say thank you to everyone who supported this endeavor so far. Myself, Rolo, and Resurrection Toys in any way leading up to this, even if you haven't ordered something, we appreciate that. And I just want to cheers to all of you and to the team and everyone that's helped us along the way, either spreading the word, making an order, helping us fill the orders, anything in between. Thank you. Okay, all of that out of the way. First news item up for bid is boom. Just want to show you guys this Fortnite boat. There was some concern about whether or not G.I. Joe Classifieds will fit in here. We got this gentleman here by the name of Matt K, who shows it working without modification, 4 Cobras. So G.I. Joe Classified do fit in that Fortnite boat. So if you're on the fence about it, and it's something you're interested in, I think it's worth a go. I bowed out, which is part of our discussion today. I'm going to wait and see if I can get it at a lower price just because I like it. I like it a lot, but I don't $70 like it for what I would be using it for. Okay. So I think it's a great piece. I think the price is reasonable for what it is, but we have to pick and choose in these day and ages when things are changing around the toy market. So I just wanted to show that off because I thought it was really cool to see that in the flesh. It gave me a warm and fuzzy as well. Salzburg says, your wife told you there may be a beer shortage brewing. Oh, not sure how that happens, but I think it makes sense. Kieran Ball catching the pun right away says, Jimmy, if they're brewing, shouldn't there be more beer? Supposedly it was in USA Today, hence the cheesy tagline. Ah, I see. Yes. I think it's entirely possible there will be a beer shortage. And honestly, it probably has nothing to do with supply chain. Probably has to do with my nerves over the last 3 weeks. I'm calmer. Things are better. So I'll be drinking less. Therefore, the beer shortage is probably a hoax because I've been lapping up a lot of the lager in the U.S. just to be safe. Now, another thing I want to touch on is a little piece of news from Mattel. Last week, 5 days after they released the pre-order on Mattel Creations for this 40th anniversary 4-pack, they're like, go buy this. This is the longest lasting Mattel Creations pre-order because people aren't buying it in force. They just aren't interested. The comments in there are just brutal. They're like, we love it, but you're charging way too much for this. And I thought it was interesting to say the least. Something to say the least. Bill Wifta says, drink water. I've got some right here. Drink water all day. Coffee in the morning, water in the afternoon. We'll have a beer here tonight. And Johnny just says, just so we're clear, we don't want any more bears. We want beers. And I totally agree. Says something about the wheat. It's fair. It's fair. So while I'm on the subject of Mattel, I want to give you guys a little bit of a bonus today. We're going to do this later. Okay. But Grizzlor arrived. He arrived a couple days ago, but I just went up and got my hands on him today. So I haven't opened. The seal is still intact. Okay. We're going to open up the box and check them out. I'm not going to take them out of the packaging, but I will take them out of this box and get my first look at them with you guys tonight on the stream. I want to give you guys a nice little treat. And I would agree that Mattel has overplayed their hand. I think they're putting too much faith in the fact that we'll buy anything, which is just summarily not the case. This is proof of that. And I hope that it influences what they're planning to do with Eternia. But we'll see. We will see. He said, Johnny said, except for that one reseller who has 25 of them listed at double price, ain't selling. Exactly. James Salzberg says some same lesson Hasbro needs to learn. There's only so much dinero to spread around. Exactly. There's only so much money to put into these things, for sure. For sure. Thank you, and we'll see how nice he is when we pull him out. We'll see. We'll see. Rolo, welcome to the stream, says if that's true, also counts for Germany, and then World War III is something possibly get excited about. Yeah, because if there's a beer shortage, the Germans would be upset too. He says, is that the anti-tamper Scotch tape like Hasbro's using? I don't know. Anti-tamper? I don't know what the hell that is. This is just Scotch tape. I know your joke. I have no idea. I have no idea what they're doing. Speaking of things that I had no idea about, Creative Beast Studio put out this prototype for what they call the Cyberzoic Arctic Dragon. Now, I didn't even know this was a thing. All I know is that he's beautiful. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I just happened to see this in my feed, and I just thought I had to at least show him to you guys because it's just breathtaking. And that is from Creative Beast Studio. So check it out if you're so inclined, because I think this is a really cool piece, cool independent toy stuff. And I know some of you guys will be really into this sort of thing for what I hope are obvious reasons. But I just wanted to show him and just call some attention to the Cyberzoic Arctic Dragon prototype, because that's really cool. It's just really cool. Something different. We like something different. It's cool. Speaking of something slightly different, I want to call some attention back to our friends over at Talos Dream Shop. Talos Dream Shop does some of the best, if not the best, 3D printed Master of the Universe accessories on the market. Many thanks to Bill Wifta for constantly letting us know about these guys, because he deserves all of the credit. I've seen his stuff before, but when I heard Bill had gotten someone was happy, went right on my radar. And the one thing I've always wanted him to make were spare nunchucks for Ninjor. The reason being that if you have the Ninja Turtles classics from Walmart, the old school original reprints, those weapons are horrible. And the nunchucks that come with the Ninjor seem to work pretty well. And for the price, which is relatively low for what you're getting, it would be easy to get a pair of these to put in your Michelangelo's hands and have some nunchucks. So if you're a Turtles collector and you need some nunchucks on the relatively cheap, head over to Talos Dream Shop on Etsy to pick these up. It was really cool. And Jim Largo said, hey, Chuck Norris has been looking for those nunchucks. There you go. I think it'll fit with a lot of different toy lines, because it's designed for original Motu and Motu Origins. So I think there's a lot of flexibility there. And because, just getting a prefab pair of nunchucks with the working chain like that, you don't see it too often. So I wanted to highlight this for the simple fact that I think it's an important piece. It's a good place to get it. He's got great reputation. He's got a 5-star rating with over 6,200 sales. So I think you can trust him. And he does have free shipping offers that are pretty cool as well. Tons of stuff in this shop. But the nunchucks really caught my eye. I got an email said, hey, he's doing nunchucks now. I'm like, really? And I just hopped over and said, well, I'm going to share it with you guys too. So I just want to show you that. Definitely cool. Always a fun thing. Now, before we get into the Big Bad Toy Store pre-orders that are there, I've got way more stuff to show, but I wanted to do the big bad stuff kind of in the middle and then get to some better news pieces as we move towards our thing. Something that came out of nowhere from Hasbro was a core class bomb burst transformer. One of the, looks like a beast. I don't know if it's a Beast War thing. Looks like it is. I honestly don't remember this very well. I want to say it was a Headmaster or something. I vaguely remember this character, but I saw this, and because he's core class, I was a bit more tuned to it because I like the core class. They're always very affordable, and if you do collect these, this is a pretty cool one. And after the debacle that I had getting a Spike character in that class, I decided that it was really important to let you guys know about it. So if you want one, you can pre-order it. And this is set to arrive in October, which this just went up for pre-order today. So it's an interesting timeline. And it kind of goes into, okay, so Johnny says the Pretender in G1 passed for you. Understood. G1 Pretender. Okie doke. I knew it was one of those weird ones. That was interesting. Just want to let you guys know. But now with Big Bad, the pre-orders that are in here this week, like I normally go through these a little bit. It's a lot of that, not bad stuff, just stuff that most of the people that watch this show just tend not to be too into. So I'll kind of show you. You got Bomb Burst, and you got a bunch of this. You got some Warhammer stuff, some Fortnite stuff, 6 scale, higher end Star Wars stuff. Lots of Japanese brouhaha. A lot of pops, and I'm not sure what's going on with all the Christmas stuff. This Shin Godzilla got my eye. It's $380, guys. $380. Nope. Thank you. And then Jason and the Argonauts toy. Some of you guys were asking me about that over the weekend. There's some Jason and the Argonauts stuff, which is kind of cool. It's a die-cast Toy Story thing, so it's probably small. Some Betty Page Christmas ornaments, which I'm always a fan of Betty Page. But again, none of this is like more that typical toy thing. I got excited about this. This was kind of neat because it's a display case that you can take apart. It has an LED light in it, and it's designed for these paper backgrounds that you can buy and then display them with figures. And pretty interesting. And they're like $20, and they'd probably fit anything from a Superpowers collection figure on down. It's kind of cool. It's a little bit different. For $20, it's a bit much for my taste. We are going to take a closer look at Fraggle Rock here in a moment. Mafex has out Spider-Man No Way Home and a battle-damaged Iron Man from Endgame. The Sectar from Nacelle is now up on Big Bad for pre-order. If you did not want to pre-order directly from Nacelle, you can get them through there. A little pricey, but you're getting some decent figures for what you're paying, I think. And then we've got some Barbie Dia de Muertos. I didn't even know they made these. I think this is really cool that they're doing a Barbie for Dia de Muertos, which is great. They have a Ken as well. Metal Slug figures that look unarticulated, but they're kind of fun. I love that game. Bunch of different Metal Slug figures, which again, didn't even know they were doing. Trivial Pursuit, Dungeons and Dragons, again, didn't know that was a thing either. It's kind of cool, but kind of out there, kind of a little bit different. And the rest of this stuff is more of that, again, higher end Japanese kind of stuff, some stuffed Angimals, if you will. And then on it goes. So there's really not a lot of, like, shall we say, marquee pre-orders that are going up on Big Bad this week. I always go over it, and I wanted to talk about it. Other says, what is Christmas? That is something you should ask your parents about, sir. Not for me to mention. Jim Largo brought this to my attention earlier today, and I just want to call it out because this is something that hasn't been yet up for pre-order. It's a 1/9 scale, okay? 1/9 scale. So like an 8 to 9 inch figure from Beast Kingdom. They're doing a Michael Keaton Batman 89 Batman. Comes with everything you see here. So it's a pretty robust package. The sculpt looks good. Some of the close-up pictures I've seen, it looks a little bit too synthetic, a bit rubbery for my taste. I have no idea on the price point on this, but he does look pretty darn good. Looks pretty good. I'm not a fan of this, like, this figure saying this is Batman across the bottom. Like, I'm not a big fan. Jim Salzberg correcting me, well, modifying my statement, saying Mego size. Yes, definitely that. Very cool. Until I see a price point or pre-orders, I'm not going to be overly excited about this. I like the idea. I like the scale for what it is because I do have some Mego in my collection. But I'll reserve judgment until then because I don't know. I don't know where this is going to be available or what. But I saw it. I thought it was cool. Speaking of things I saw that I did not think was so cool, that I did not think were very, very great. Star Wars Black Series Christmas Edition figures. There's 4 or 5 of these. Might even be 6. 119. Thank you, Jason, for correcting my shit. So from what I understand, they canceled some reissues of characters a couple months ago because they couldn't meet demand. But they're happy to put out these Christmas variants that no one asked for. They have like Chewbacca, who's got white fur, and they've got this stormtrooper from the sequel trilogy. They've got a clone trooper and a couple other characters, and I'm just like, what is the point of this? Why cancel characters we actually want, and then give us this that I don't know anyone that wants these. Are these fun? Sure, they're fun, but not full price figure fun. They're not. I don't think they're worth it personally. Jim Largo, making him a point, says that's total bullshit. They canceled my reissue of Captain Rex to put out this holly jolly crap. Exactly. If they weren't canceling other toys, I wouldn't really care. I'd be like, this is weird. But when you're canceling toys that people really want and had already ordered, okay, why do this after the fact? I don't get it at all. And Ozzy says, well, they won't put out the Star Wars Christmas special, but they put out this piece of crap figure. Brick Something says, sorry to lag, split attention with work. Regarding the sectars, does anyone have a link to the images show off the new articulation? Renders in the pre-order pages aren't posted, hard to see what's new. What I've seen is that it is, think of it like a Marvel Legends. You've got, 2 points of articulation plus the wrists, hips, knees, and I believe the feet as well. I don't have a picture handy for that. I will try to find someone for next week's show on that, okay? Badger says, hi, nice folk. Cannot join tonight. Just had a wisdom tooth yanked out heading home. Do I know what rhymes with wisdom? The like button. He's not wrong. And I agree with Jim that says recover soon. Enjoy the drugs. I hope you're okay. Those are never fun. I hope that there's lots of chocolate pudding, ice cream, and broth in your future, my friend, because you're not going to want chew for a while. Ted says they mostly did Halloween ones in blue as well. Yeah, that's fair. So there are a bunch of these. I'm not going to go through all of them, but I just thought that was like, what are you talking about? Like, why would you do that? What is the point with that? I don't understand. Now switch hitting to something that's interesting. Boss Fight are putting out some Fraggle Rock toys. So I've got some concepts for you here with these, which look great. They're waiting for the Jim Henson Company to approve this, but they're putting out some pretty interesting Fraggle Rock toys, which are very similar to the Diamond Select stuff that was put out for the Muppets. So this is different scale, different company, different toy line, but I like that Jim Henson's creations are seeing some love. Okay, very, very cool as far as I'm concerned. And yeah, Rollo Badger was here, but he's probably gone for the moment. But as far as I know, he did get his stuff. He has a stream coming up on, I want to say Thursday, where he's going to open everything at once. He just had a full plate lately. But yeah, people were like loving the Fraggle Rock, which is great. This is not for me. Jimmy says, will they have scale doozers? As far as I know, no, but we don't know because there are no doozers at all. So we don't know. The only figure we can see is here. Everything else is a concept art piece, right? So I think it's too early to say what they are or are not doing correctly, but I knew that there are people in chat that are Fraggle Rock people, so I wanted to bring it up because I know you'd be into it, and me being a Muppets fan, I want to support. Speaking of something that's kind of more my speed, but something I'm still not probably going to get, is a Mega Man figure from, I think Jada is doing it. Is a first look in hand. I love how he looks. I'm a big Mega Man guy, but I really don't do video game toys that much. But this exists, and Mega Man's cool. So, he's coming. He's coming up for pre-order soon. So keep your eyes peeled if you're into that sort of a thing. And getting back, I'm trying to temper your expectations back and forth. Someone got to look at the paint job for the Silverhawks from Super 7. They're horrible. That is not a Silverhawk. That is a glossy gray hawk. I'm glad that I am not in on this line. Screw this. I don't want it. Any of them. And fuck Super 7, personally. I don't get it. Jim Largo says, Primer Hawk. Jason Garcia says, Matt Hawks. Another Primer Hawk. There you go. And Jim Salzberg's like, not surprised. Not surprised at all. I agree. I'm not, I'm not trying to give them any credit that they shouldn't have. But I feel like if you're doing Silver Hawks, they should be metal. I think that's the most basic aspect of their characters. They're shiny. If you get that wrong, I don't care about anything else you're doing. Now, we have talked about Hasbro a little bit. We're going to talk about Hasbro in more detail, but I do want to give them some credit here. And also bring up a weird thing. They're bringing back starting lineup. And these are fully articulated, really beautiful sculpts. Fully articulated. Now, there are some fans out there of the originals that are complaining that these have articulation because the old ones didn't. In other words, we don't want you to make them better. We want the old ones. I don't fully understand that. If you're going to give me more features than the one I had when I was a kid, I don't have a problem with that. Now, I am also with Jason Garcia, who said, who asked for these? I don't know. However, I said the same thing when starting lineup came out back in the day. So I don't know who these are for, aside from the obvious sports fans. But if they are going to make them, I do think the articulation is a good idea. And I hope the people enjoy them. And Bjorn says they're too expensive and they don't have the tattoos. That's a good point. Other folks saying that they're too pricey. I think that's Hasbro across the board lately as well. Jim Largo also saying, I think starting lineup be a dumpster fire. Most sports guys don't buy toys, and most toy guys don't care about modern players. I agree. If this were a commemorative line of some of the best players in history, I think it would hit a lot better. This would be one of the few times where I say hitting the nostalgia button is probably a good idea. But they apparently are not doing that at all. Garcia wants the 90s Dream Team. I think it's a cool idea. I think that, something like that. And he said, back then we had kids buying sports cards and that fad has collapsed. Absolutely. I had baseball cards, even though I didn't really follow baseball, but I had the cards. It's weird. Speaking of things that are weird, I thought we just had one of these, but Walmart has CollectorCon coming on the 6th of October. I don't know how I'm going to feel about that, but I wanted you guys to know it's coming. So get ready for those exclusives at Walmart that are going to be difficult as shit to get. I'm not trying to hurt anyone's feelings or piss them off, but that is something that is coming. Now, before I get into the heavier part of the Hasbro aspect, I want to start with something that I was equally happy and dismayed to see. Okay? Y'all knew this was coming. I discussed this last week. They announced all of these. The Dungeons and Dragons figures. I think the sculpts are good. I think the articulation is perfectly fine. I think the prices are completely unreasonable for what they are relative to what you see in other figure lines. They're also missing some characters from the cartoon. We're missing the Cavalier, and I think we're missing another woman character. I can't remember her name. I think she has red hair. The Scout, I think it was. I forget her name with the hood. So if you're going to go to this length with this, and you're not going to do all the characters, I really question the point of this. Jason Garcia saying Tiamat should be a Build-A-Fig. We were just talking about this on Bill's show yesterday. Obviously Tiamat is a licensed thing, but you never know when you might see a Chia Pat in another toy manufacturer, because Tiamat is a really cool design, and I think it's well worth updating to scale and doing something really cool with it. Hasbro obviously doesn't agree, and I think it would have been smarter to put all of these in one big package and just sell the whole thing, because I don't think people just want one or the other. You're either gonna want all of them or you're not gonna care. I think. Jimmy Salzberg's like, I love the show. I'm not buying. Same. I have no reason to collect these at all. Ian Sweeney says Sheila was the name of the thief of the cartoon. Thank you. And Bill Wolf is saying he bets that she'll be in a wave 2. If they do a wave 2, that's great. And if these sell well, maybe we will see a Tiamat. And Ozzy is correct in that Tiamat is also a subpar metal band. That is correct. And Steven saying Tiamat will be a HasLab $400 figure. Just watch it. Yeah. King Tia Ghidorah, like Tia Gorda. Yeah, I get you. Presto the Magician. I knew I was missing someone, Ian. Thank you very much. And Bjorn wants Bobby the Barbarian. He wants to make a tiny He-Man. It's a good option for that. And this is the packaging, which is even more confusing. I said it before, I'll say it again. The bubble made out of cardboard is just a slap in the face. Rumor has it that some of the packaging will have diorama pieces built into the packaging, which I think is a good idea. If you're going to force cardboard on us, at least make it useful, okay? But I would still rather have the bubble. I would still rather have the bubble. Or if you're not going to put a plastic bubble on the card back, then just put it in a box and have, card back art printed on the inside so I can cut it out if I want it. I just don't understand. I had mentioned the Cavalier up front, but yes, he needs to be in the line. And Bjorn said, "Why the hybrid box card? Pick one or the other." I agree. Joe DeBecke used to run around playing with those guys in real life, like kids play. He's not the unicorn though. You didn't want to be the unicorn. That's fair. Says the packaging is dumb. Jason says literal cardboard coffin for figures. Bobby the Barbarian. Love the figures, not confident in the packaging or possible price point. I agree. So, yeah, this kind of began a pretty bad week for Hasbro. So let's get to the big news that you all know about. At least I think you do. But apparently, G.I. Joe Classified moving forward is a Pulse exclusive for the UK and European Union. It's available for retailers everywhere else, including the US. I've seen some speculation that it's because people are buying, are exporting toys overseas and all kinds of craziness. I don't think I don't think that's the reason that's being done. I couldn't begin to tell you why, except to speculate. This purely speculation on my part. It may simply be that they're just not moving enough figures on the store shelves, or they're having a hard time getting the figures to those store shelves in a timely manner that would positively affect sales. So they want to sell directly to the consumer to try and get around that, and frankly, to cheap out on freight costs. I think they probably looked on a map and said, which Western countries are we seeing the worst numbers, and it not being worthwhile to ship stuff to? And they probably said Europe and UK, and said, we'll just sell direct and whatever. And I think this is craziness. And I didn't know about this until this morning myself. I haven't been watching any YouTube for like 2 weeks. So when Johnny had said that, mentioned that Analog Toys had covered this, I saw like a title card, and I don't honestly, I didn't watch it, and I want to, and then when I found out about this, I thought, well, that's got to be what it's about. I haven't had a chance, so I promise I'm not stealing. I promise. I promise. I promise. I promise. Um, but I do want to thank the guys over at Toy Newsy for some of the pictures that you saw and tipped me off to this, because I honestly didn't know about it until this morning. And Jimmy makes a good point. He says more profit in direct sales than wholesaling. Absolutely, there is. It's something that I think any company you want to look at whenever you can. Selling direct to your customers, I think, is only a good thing. Now, if they start going in that subscription thing that Mattel was doing, I think that's stupid. Bottom line for me is that if you're selling direct to your customers, right? In other words, it comes from the factory to you in a warehouse, and you send to them. And you're taking retailers out of the picture. Okay, I do think that you should be able to pass some kind of cost savings on to the customers that are affected, because they are being inconvenienced by the fact that they don't have the option to go into the store. Okay, now with a company like Valaverse, they're not really doing the retail thing, so you're getting the price, that's correct for his business model, right? So in my opinion, the UK and EU fans that for GI Joe, they should be getting a lower price, because something's being taken away from them in terms of the opportunity. And as long as they can keep it in stock and the prices don't rise, I don't think this is the worst thing, but it just doesn't make a lot of sense to me other than it being profit driven. And Jim says this is good for Valaverse military figure fans. There will be an Amazon shop opening for people outside of the continental US to order their figures to get easier shipping. I do think that there are pluses to this. I think having access and potentially anyway, minimizing scalpers, or at least trying to minimize scalpers, is a good thing. I don't have confidence it'll work out the way that they're probably intending. I think that scalpers are just going to continue to scalp. I think it's only going to get more difficult to get these figures if you live in the UK or the European Union. And the prices are not going to reflect what they should for buying direct. It's real pain. It's real pain in the ass. Stephen S. says that it's going to hurt the G.I. Joe brand in some way. I absolutely agree. I agree. I don't think that this will have long-term benefit. So, it's one of those things. Like, I understand what they're trying to do, potentially, but without them having a statement about this that I'm made aware of, it's not great. And I agree with Jim Salzberg here. The Pulse site seems pretty bot friendly. It definitely does. I've had a lot of different experiences with the Pulse website. Over the weekend, they did a restock of a lot of stuff, including retro carded Joes. And as soon as I saw that happened, I snapped up a retro carded Destro, because I wanted one just for the card, right? Like, I can get a Destro, but I wanted the card really bad, and I've been having a hard time tracking one down. And to get it at retail price from them, not a bad thing as far as I'm concerned. Snapped it up, I was okay, but I was worried it was going to get sold out rather than wait. I just bought it. And because Pulse is not a crazy good system as far as I am concerned. And Jim Largo, I have to agree, says Hasbro Pulse is a terrible shipping system, and I don't know why Hasbro doesn't just make a partnership with Amazon. Because they want their money. I will say from experience that it's probably a lot. No. I will say from experience, it is definitely cheaper to work with the Shopify style cart system they have now than it is to work with Amazon. Because we did look into doing Amazon for a while there, and it's just not cost effective for us at the scale we're at. And when you're talking about the big numbers that they're dealing with, and they want to get every last penny that they can just smush out of these figures, With all the prices raising and everything, do you think they're going to want more cost? Probably not. Probably not. And I don't blame anyone for not wanting to deal with Amazon. I'm not a huge fan of the way that they deal with people that make things. I think they cater to the entirely wrong kinds of manufacturers by and large. Jim says, I had gotten one for you if you want to cancel. I forgot all about that. Maybe I'll make it a giveaway. I forgot that conversation. I forgot that conversation, dude. Yeah, you did. You did say that. You told me 2 weeks ago or something. This is why there needs to be a reliable toy collection application that works. There isn't one. Retro game collecting? Sure. Card collecting? Yep. Comic collecting? You bet. You know, yeah, if you can return it, by all means, go for it. Get your money back, pal. Because mine should be here, if not tonight, tomorrow. Because I wasn't thinking, dude. I appreciate it. I just. Ugh. Will says, I learned today there's such a thing as the Thanos copter. Yes, it's in the comic book. That is a real thing. That is absolutely a real thing in the comics. It's not a cool thing, but it does exist. You have the Green Lantern. Yay, Green Lantern! Thank you so much, buddy. I appreciate that. Very cool. Always good looking out. And always good to see you live, buddy. I know that you try. I know your schedule's freaking crazy these days and so forth. But it's... I don't know who in Hasbro was making what decisions. And as you can see, we kind of had a roller coaster of emotions with Hasbro during the course of the stream so far. Because we had Fortnite, that boat came out that, relatively speaking, the price wasn't horrible. It works well with other 6-inch figures. It's great stuff. And, they're putting out some cool sculpts. They're, earlier in the stream, we talked briefly about the fact that they have been inflating their shipping estimates because they're worried about supply chain. And people that are complaining about that, I'm like, look, man, I don't mind that they're inflating their delivery periods. I don't mind that. I understand why that might happen. I totally understand that. But when you say you're going to release it in December or March, that's when I expect you to deliver it, and I've budgeted accordingly. When you send it 1 to 7 months early, that really screws up my stuff. Because I'm always looking at pre-orders, like when stuff's coming out, and as a result, between things coming sooner than expected, and I do have a tendency to, when in doubt, pre-order it just in case. I've gotten a lot better at canceling things. I'm like, I don't really need that or want that or whatever, and it's something that it all bleeds together. Hasbro's prices are raising. They're not doing a lot of pro-consumer stuff. I don't trust the way they do business on a lot of different things. And it's making it very easy for me to cancel stuff. Very easy to cancel things that I don't feel that I need to fill holes in my collection. Like I got a Madam Hydra over the weekend, and if she had been full $25 retail price, I would never have got her. I pre-ordered her because she had a price drop down to like $17. And you've got Build-A-Figure part that I'll probably never use because I keep looking at the other figures in the line. I'm like, I don't need that character that bad. But for $17, she's a decent looking figure. I like the way she's put together. I like the character. It's fine. I would never have paid full price for her because there's just no reason for it. And Will is doing a stream tomorrow night at 7 o'clock Eastern. And Rollo, of course, pumping it up. And definitely check out Will's channel.
He's got some great toys to show off. It's a lot of fun to hang out with him. You really should subscribe to what he's doing. So his knowledge is insane. Love hanging out with the dude. And while I'm plugging YouTube channels, for those of you that don't know, I am a co-founder of a toy company called Resurrection Toys. You can check us out at resurrectiontoys.com/YouTube. We do live streams usually once a week at this point. I don't know if that's going to remain the same moving along, but we'd love to have you hang out and check some stuff out. Steven says, whenever you do your videos about bad news on toy lines and collectibles, you need to play a Jurassic Park clip of Sam Jackson saying, hold on to your butts. I mean, I might do that. So, but yeah, definitely into Will's stream tomorrow for sure. I'll be looking forward to it. It'll be nice to get into some content again. You were too sick after radiation to work, so the energy in chest making you stronger. That's right. Getting stronger now. Get some Rocky music going for Jim Salzberg. Getting stronger now. I know I'm doing it wrong. Steven wants a kind of dino trailer. A dino trailer? Will says, I'm opening a mountain of Power of the Force 2 vehicles, playsets, and figures. Come by and hang out. Bring out your toys. Bring out your toys! That's going to be cool. Going through some Star Wars stuff? Dude, I'm there. I'm there with a 6-pack of beer. We're going to hang out. It's going to be a lot of fun. Jim Salzberg with a very generous super chat says, release the Kraken. Okay. So for those that don't already know, Resurrection Toys made a bit of an announcement over the weekend. So I think what Jim is talking about and what other people have alluded to, that they want to see the trailer that announces this particular toy. So, all right, you've twisted my arm. I legitimately was not going to show it today, but you guys want to see it, I'll show it. So here you go. Without further ado, here is the holiday pre-order release trailer that we showed over the weekend.
Release the Kraken!
So I saw a lot of comments in chat. It's good to see you, Logic Blaster. Always good to see you, pal. People were clearly hinting at that. And Jim Largo says you can never have enough Kraken. I mean, you're a couple of vowels away from that being a whole other statement, my friend. Brick says, I don't know the context what we're looking at, but damn, Clash of the Titans is the core memory for me. What you were looking at was an announcement that we made for Resurrection Toys, a company that I co-own along with Rolo and Marcos. We've done a successful run of the Predacon and Xenozilla figures that are very large scale figures. We just put out some new figures out over the weekend for order. We're filling our first wave of orders. They're actually being shipped out tomorrow. Second wave will be shipping out early next week at the latest, depending upon how things happen. And we're working on some other stuff as well. We have stuff already in the pipeline, but we made a commitment that our big Christmas release is going to be a Kraken that is modeled, inspired by the scale of the Mattel Clash of the Titans Kraken. So ours is going to be closer to 15 inches, whereas he was 14 and a half. So it'll be closer to 15 inches tall, not including the tail. So he's going to be a big mamma jamma. But it's going to be a completely original sculpt with more articulation than the original, and much, much more affordable than the classic one, which is brittle and falls apart. We're making ours out of a thick, flexible vinyl, so that he's very durable and you can play with him and do whatever you want with him. And he's not gonna, break apart on your shelf. That's the main stuff. And he's gonna be nice and scary and awesome. I encourage you to check it out over at resurrectiontoys.com. We have our own YouTube channel, Twitter channels, Instagram, the whole thing. I know that I cannot keep them completely separate all the time. But I don't want the news show to turn into a Resurrection Toys hype thing. I'll show you anything you guys want to see along the way, but it's not the mission of this channel to sell you toys. But if you're into it, I'm totally down. Will, with a good point. Clash Titans is on HBO right now. Watch it and get pumped up. I'm going to have to rewatch that and take some notes as well. Rollman of Cardboard, welcome, says, I had the original. He lost a battle with your Shogun Warriors Godzilla match in WD-40. Melted him down. Barely says, hey ho, everyone. Greetings from Austria, who I believe got her package from the auction. So we got proof positive that our packages from our shipping partner can go through like 4 or 5 different countries and still make it safely, which is great to hear. But it's a whole thing. So Bill Wifta says, I want one. Well, Bill Wifta, Weird Fantastic Toy Adventures, is one of our brand ambassadors. So he's guaranteed one for sure. Absolutely. Some folks have already ordered, which is great. We appreciate that. We plan to have a prototype available for view. The sculpt should be done by Halloween. So that's where we're planning on revealing the sculpt in earnest. Not to be confused with Ernest P. Worrell. Newcastle will join the stream. Hey, nice to see you. Are you talking about a new Kraken? Yes. Yes, we are. Resurrection Toys, we are making a Kraken in the same scale, but a bit larger than the original Mattel one. Totally new sculpt. So it should appeal to people that are already into the kaiju figures we're doing, but it's going to be a bit more inspired by the scary stuff, more the myth than the movie, but it'll scale just fine with the original Clash of the Titans line, so you'll be able to use it with that if you collect that line. We wanted to kind of hit all the different, people with this. And Jim Salzberg said, I had some 12-inch Joes who ended up in a Burn Ward too. It does happen. It does happens. Jim's like, we know, but wallets are open. Fair enough. And that's part of why, if you guys ask, I'm going to show you stuff, but I'm going to try and keep that stuff to a minimum because it's just not fair to you guys. To why you are here. You're here for toy news in general, and it certainly is part of it. It's important. Clash of the Titans is a fun movie, man. It's the last best stop motion film made, as far as I'm concerned. Love that film as a kid. Loved it. And I had a couple of the toys, not many of them. So this is kind of a dream come true for me as well, because I said early on I kind of want one, but they're so expensive. And Gojatron mentioned in a Patreon hangout, he's like, if you're doing kaiju, you might want to consider doing a Kraken. Guess what? 2 weeks later, we said, yeah, let's do it. So that's a real thing. It's a real thing. And Masters Maniac giving World Made of Cardboard some love. And if you guys don't know, World Made of Cardboard has a great little YouTube channel. He never plugs a damn thing. Does some amazing stuff with, cardboard. You should check him out. Really, really worth it. So, really good stuff. Barely says that the package did arrive and she's super happy. Hey, no worries. Thank you for your support in that endeavor. Thanks for always being around. I think it would have been very simple for you once you saw things happen for Rolo to stop watching this channel. I'm glad that you're always here. You're just the sweetest person. It's so nice to see your name when we do streams. It's good to see you, man. It's good to see you. Jim Largo says, I've already pre-ordered my Kraken. Yes, you have, and thank you. So can't wait to use it to terrify your action force. I also want to see the Giganotosaurus battle with the Kraken because they're very similar scale. So I'm just saying. Oh, cool. Brick Something says that he did receive his package of the auction items. Haven't opened it because you're filming the unboxing for your channel, but thank you. No. Thank you for the support, and we're glad to. Anyone that tells us that they've received stuff is great. We've gotten the notifications that you've received everything, as far as we can tell. So hearing that from the other side is always very encouraging. Very, very cool stuff. No one says definitely going to get that Kraken. Awesome. Thank you. Joe DeBecky says, hell yeah. Well, that's awesome. Glad to see you guys are excited about it. We're excited. And I want to be very clear. This is not a Kickstarter. This doesn't have a threshold. This isn't Hasbro. This isn't HasLab or Mattel Creations. This toy is getting made, no matter how many people order them. We're doing some special things for the first run, but that's just because we want to do something special. The toy is getting made, period. It's going to happen. We just want to give people a chance to get it in advance because we know that Christmas time, wallets can get tight. And because we are planning for a Christmas release, we thought it was better to announce it and give people the opportunity. But we also understand people want to see prototypes and sculpts first. That's why we're putting a rush on everything to put all of our energy into the Kraken between now until it's done. We have to make sure that the sculpt is ready to go in time for them to make it so that we have time to tweak things along the way. So the sculpt will be done by Halloween. That's the plan. As soon as it's done, we'll show it off. Then it goes to our manufacturing partner to get the molds made, and then they'll go into production as quickly as they can so that we'll have them ready to ship out in time for Christmas. That is the plan. That's what we're working towards. We're pushing extremely hard to make that happen. If any of that changes along the way, we'll be transparent about it, but know that you're going to get the toy as close to Christmas as we can possibly make it happen. All of the things we've learned along the way since starting this endeavor has really informed how we can do this. So I'm very, very, very excited to be able to do this. So for sure. Ian says, night all, it's been a long day. May have to get up to some sleep tomorrow night so you can be up for that Power of the Force 2 unboxing stream, one of the favorite toy lines. Awesome. We'll hope to see you there. Yes, and if anyone has a problem with shipping, please reach out to service@resurrectiontoys.com. If it's an auction item, reach out directly to Rollo. In the meantime, we'll make sure you're taken care of. Steven says, and this is what you can do without HasLab. Absolutely. Like we went through all the possibilities logistically wise of what could happen. And what we can say with certainty is that as long as we can get the sculpt done on time, and our manufacturing partner can have the molds done when he says he can deliver, then we have nothing to worry about. Because everything else, every other aspect of it, from the boxes to the shipping aspects, those things have been ironed out pretty well. So I'm very excited about that. Newcastle says, I loved Clash of the Titans when I was a kid. My father was into the Greek mythology, but never had the toys. Well, we can at least fill that much for you. And I will say the original figures, most of them are pretty attainable on the secondary market. Kraken just being something that ironically cracks a lot. He's just very brittle. So that's part of why I thought it was really cool to bring this back in something that's even way more durable. Mormon Cardboard, no worries. Take care. Thanks for being here. Jim Largo says, let's get crack-a-lackin'. Lots of monster and kaiju crossover toy photography coming in the new year. You bet your bottom dollar. That's for sure. And we appreciate you. Steven says, I'm underwhelmed. I was expecting the practice of taking my money for months and waiting for the possibility of it not happening. Nope, not going to happen here, man. Not going to happen. Brick says, did you mention yet when we expect to see Kraken concept design? Yes. We plan to have the sculpt completed by Halloween. Now, if I have anything substantial to show before then, we'll do it through the Resurrection Toys channels. Okay? I might be inclined to show it here, but I want to be very clear that if you really want to know about the Kraken stuff in development, follow Resurrection Toys on social medias, including YouTube, because we will always share it there. Okay? But with this, speaking of transparent, when can a certain jet come out? That's a long ways away, and it's just a glimmer in my eye, man. I got to be honest, it's going to be a bit. We got to get the Never-Ending Story stuff, at least the first wave done before I start talking about that. But it's on the menu. I want to do it. Says thanks for being a Kraken back. That's what we do. Bring your imagination back to life and certain toys if we can. Silkran says just tuned in, but my God, a Kraken? Sign me up. Hey, if you want to pre-order it right away, you can. If you want to wait, that's okay. Because the toy's getting made no matter how many people pre-order. We don't have a cutoff for orders ever. Anything we make, we can always make to order if we don't have it in stock, and that's the commitment. So when it comes to FOMO, fear of missing out, don't worry about it. If you want to order and support, great. We appreciate it. Don't worry, your toy will get there. If you want to wait until you see some stuff, no problem. We'll be there. If you want it in time for Christmas, definitely want to make sure you order it well in advance. We will announce the cutoff for shipping when it comes to the Kraken. So there won't be any cutoffs when it comes to you being able to get one. But there will eventually be a date where if you want it in time for Christmas, we have to cut it off somewhere. And I have an idea of where that is, but I'm not going to share anything until I'm 100% certain on that. We're definitely trying our best. We'll leave it up to the collectors to decide whether or not we're doing well. But I think we have some really cool stuff coming. Brick says, I had the Caliban 3 3/4-inch figure back in the day. One of my favorite toys. Hyped that you're delving in the property. I don't know how far we're going to go with it beyond Kraken. We do kaiju toys. I just wanted a Kraken, but never say never on that stuff. Barely said, I heard Never-Ending Story, instantly smiled. That's what we look for. We look for those smiles. Brick says, final question from me. Are we still having fun? Sometimes doing a hobby is work and kill the vibe. Hope you're finding this new venture more fun and creative than stressful and frustrating. I got to be honest. I have to be honest here. It is extremely stressful to do this. And each one of us has different things that we stress about. Rolo does a lot of the logistics. Marcos handles some logistics, but also physically making sure that the figures are ready to go. And then certainly, running the socials and making sure everyone's on the same page and, making sure that deadlines are being met, things like that. It all stresses out. And I'll put it this way. It will be worth it when this first wave of figures arrives in people's hands and they get to have some fun with it. That's when I'm going to start to relax a little bit. We ran into a thing where some of our toys got featured on a huge YouTube channel that I didn't expect it, Rolo didn't expect it, and Marcos didn't understand who he had sent the toys to. He was just trying to be a good guy. And over 30,000 people got eyes on our toys and were like, where can I get it? And we had to go from no web presence to a full web presence in 48 hours or less. We did it. And so this first wave of orders that came from that are going out coming up on tomorrow, finally. Thank fuck. That was the biggest thing. You didn't play it again, Jim. Yeah, I'm going to play the trailer again. We do have a trailer. It's meant to hype you up. So we'll play the trailer again in just a moment. Ozzy Rules asking, we're getting a Napalm Death from Enslavement figure. Probably never, for the simple fact that Earreg's got a really tight hold on the license for that early stuff. But depending upon the later albums, I might get a hold of some of the guys and ask if they want us to do something. To be blunt, I've already thought about doing like metal stuff too. Brick says, no expectation for you to do figures from Clash of Titans, just excited. I totally get it, and it's totally okay. It's a great question, though, Brick, from before. I am having fun, though. I didn't actually say that. It's a lot of fun when things work out. It's when all along the way we're building something from nothing. No one has ever exported toys en masse direct sales from Mexico. It's never happened, ever. So we're learning everything from scratch. Everything. So we're finally gotten to a point where we're very confident in what we can expect. We've made adjustments to our shipping thresholds and our shipping costs. We do flat rate shipping regardless of where you live in the world. And we're very excited by that. And every time I have had to raise the shipping cost, I've done it twice now, I'm not happy about it. But I'm confident after seeing the numbers that we had just recently. It makes perfect sense. We might have to go a little, even just a teeny bit higher, but I don't think we're going to have to. I think we're perfectly okay. So it's stressful when there are obstacles to getting the toys in people's hands. I always light up when we have design meetings. I light up when people are excited about the toys, when I hear good things. I'm excited to get mine. I don't have mine yet. I don't have any of our toys yet. I can't wait to play with these guys and to explore this stuff. Got our final estimate on hats and shirts today. Looking forward to getting some of that stuff out to folks. And it's good. It's really good. I know that there are a lot of people out there that start toy companies, and a lot of them have zero experience. We have the advantage of having combined over 30 years of experience making toys on our team. So the manufacturing process, painting processes, all that stuff we have in spades. The big learning curves have been the website front, shipping costs, trying to keep things fair and equitable across the board so that you're not priced out if you live in Japan or Thailand or France or the UK. And I'm happy to say that so far we're making good on that stuff. And right now, Rollo is wearing a Resurrection Toys hat. He got the samples, so it's like a whole thing. So it's a whole thing. And also, very generous super chat from Jim Largo says, for the Grindhead Motivational Beer Fund. I appreciate that, man. Really, truly appreciate that. Because I only have 2 beers left after this, so. 4. 2 of this brand, and I have 2 other ones. But thank you so much, man. I appreciate you. We are indeed crack-a-lackin', sir. For sure. No one says, down the road, it'd be cool to see Mighty Hercules. Never say never. You never know. Bjorn can't wait to get a shirt and hat. We'll put them up for sale as soon as possible. And, of course, because they've been such a big help, you'll probably see some at some point. Melvor's like, I like toys. I like toys too, sir. It's good to see you. And I did promise everyone that we would show the trailer one more time. This is the last time I'm showing the trailer this stream. Because, again, I don't want it to turn into that thing. But here we go. Nope, wrong thing. Here we go. I got to go back to a certain screen to show that. And here we go.
Release the Kraken.
Yeah, Ted asked if we had it somewhere where we can share it. It's on the YouTube channel right now. You can share it anywhere you want. Totally cool. Appreciate the thought. I also have one more thing. I told you guys at the top of the stream that my Grizzlor arrived, and I hadn't opened them yet. I wanted to open them, show them off on stream. So we're going to do that right the hell now. Yes, I will be careful, Bill. Almost forgot about this. You guys got so excited about the damn Kraken, which I'm not unhappy about. It just wasn't thinking. Good question. Bill says, does the stone version have a fall apart feature? No, but I will try to see if we can make it so you can remove the limbs somewhat easily, but it won't have a fall apart feature. That would cost so much money to do. So not on the first run, but we'll try to make it so you can reassemble the toy. So yes and no. Jim Largo says, can you please put a link in the description for the Resurrection Toys Instagram and other social media? Where's the best place to go see pictures, critters, and all that stuff? Best place to see pictures is on the website itself, resurrectiontoys.com. Absolutely. I can update the description and everything. So totally a thing. But yeah, the best place is the site because that's where we keep most of the stuff. But we certainly have Instagram and Twitter accounts where stuff goes up all the time. Steven S. says, you can get the fall apart Kraken on the original, but it can only be done once. That's a good point. No, I don't have candy, Ozzy. I'm sorry. But here's the box opening up. And much to my very distinct surprise, it looks like these are moving forward with these. So they have these cardboard little boxes to keep your card back nice and straight, which I think is very good quality of life thing for them to do. So here we go. I haven't looked. Oh, look at him. He's all coiffed. He looks good, folks. His fur is kind of mashed in the back, as you can see. So we'll have to fluff up his fur when we get him out of there eventually. But the card art is great. He's got his little... Here's I'm Grizzlor, look at me, rawr. Got the horde here, and he's certainly got a comic book back there. But look at this. Holy hell. Look how beautiful this is. Now, here's a couple things of really interesting note to see here, because there's a history with Mattel and Motu Origins putting things in the artwork that we eventually will see. I got a Modulok there. I've also got a Fright Zone there. So, okay. I'm very happy. This is... it's nice to have them. So, for those of you that didn't already know, I got this on the original pre-order from the stuff they have in stock. I also ordered one made to order. So I had a second one coming. And the person that's for knows. I don't know when it's going to ship. I really hope that it's sooner rather than later. But I have to say, this is a really great looking figure. I do not know a reason why we couldn't have had this in retail. He should have been retail. But since he wasn't retail, I'm glad we got this art. I plan to scan this and make a poster out of it. It's so great. Very, very cool. Very, very cool. I'm so stoked to have him at retail price, to not have to worry about stupid scalpers, and not have to wait either. So when Mattel Creations does things right, they do a good job. It's just they have a very, very bad track record, shall we say. Grizzler will always be an angry tribble to Jim Largo. That's fair enough, man. It's definitely Frank Frazetta-esque, for sure. For sure. Yeah, Skill Crane, they say it can take up to a year, which means June 2023 for the non-in-stock ones. Every time I've gotten something from them, it's always been ahead of schedule. So, Brick says, did I order the first pre-order or the made-to-order? That's the first pre-order. I also got a made-to-order. I got both. So that's the one from the already made ones. I don't know how long it'll be. Some people are saying June. I've seen spring. I think everyone's speculating because the terms and conditions say up to a year, which I think is bullshit. I think there's no reason for it to take that long. I think that if you knew you were doing this and they announced it well over a month in advance, you make a deal with the factory that you're going to order some right away. And, if it takes a month or, a couple months, that's fine. But the transparency, for my taste, is a bit much. Yes, it sucks that people have to wait at all, to be honest. Especially when, if you have access to a factory and the shipping lanes are different, it sucks. It just, there's no way around it. I hate the fact that people have to wait at all. I really don't like that. I'm glad he exists. I'm glad the made to order wasn't more expensive than the made, because I thought for sure the made to order would be more expensive. I thought for sure, and it wasn't. So I'm happy for that, but I still think there's a lot of chinks in their armor, a lot of kinks in the armor, a lot of chinks in the armor, a lot of however you pronounce it. They could be doing better, but they're doing well with that stuff. Will says that stuff on the card art might be out by the time people get them. Exactly. Then that's a problem. If they do a fright zone, they better damn do retail. That is a small enough place that there's no reason not to. And Modulock, too. And again, I agree, Bill, 100%. Should have been retail. No reason not to make them retail. I think it's stupid they did it this way. Stephen S. says, how do you get that Masters Universe Alf doll? He was Mattel Creations exclusive. That's the problem. He was up for pre-order for a total of 48 hours. And the second 24 hours was a made to order. As many as they ordered, they got out there. So now the only way to get it is secondhand market. And I'm scared to even look it up. But I will look it up right now because I don't know what the going price is on these things. I would presume that if we are to follow the free market, this is probably going to be less than a $1. Okay. So I will say that there are some people that have them in hand. The ones that have them in hand, looks like they're around $40 including shipping, which is not awful. So let me explain what I mean by that. Okay. So when I say not awful, to get it shipped to you, total was close to $28 because the shipping is ridiculous. It was like $26, $27, rounded up to $28. So they're saying $35 and then shipping is $6. That's not bad. Now, the fact that they took him out of the package, that's a problem. That's a big fucking problem as far as I'm concerned. I don't like that at all. But you can get them at a relatively okay price. Now, if you want it boxed, I'm seeing them for $40 to $45, which that's too much. I think that's way too much. I think $40 shipped for the secondary market makes sense to me because it is limited. I agree with Bill. That's horrible that people are doing this. I mean, frankly, if you're looking to make some kind of a profit, you charge $30 plus $5 shipping, call it a day. I think that's what you do, personally. But it shouldn't be a thing. It should have been retail in the first place. It should have been retail in the first place. Shouldn't be more than 40. I agree. Newcastle asks, does anyone Hasbro? No one know Hasbro is the Charger is rear wheel drive when designed smoked. I don't know. Oh, I know. Okay, never mind. The Ghost Rider toy thing. I got you. Jamal says, little myth that Mattel decided to do a Talon Fighter for the Netflix kids show, but haven't given us one for Motu Origins. Yeah, I agree. That's some bullshit. Hopefully it's coming. It's so dumb. It's so stupid. Yeah, I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, brother. I really am. It should have been retail. If it was retail, we wouldn't be having this discussion right now. At all. Great figure. And they were willing to make as many as people wanted. Why not at that point just make them a retail figure? And they're going to be doing a $1 made to order later this month. Matter of fact, let's take a look. I think it's this week. I think it's this Thursday or something. I want to say it's Thursday. Let me double check. Might be tomorrow. That's why I'm checking. Hang on. And there we go. Trying to find Wondar here. Trying to find this damn. All right, hang on. Wondar made to order. I'm gonna do a search. September 28th. September 28th. So that's Wednesday. And that's going to be a full 48-hour period. So just to show that I'm not pulling this out of my butt, this is the original image that they put out. So it's starts at 11 a.m. my time, so 9 a.m. Pacific, Eastern, it would be noon, until noon on the 28th. So a full 48 hours on the made-to-order Wondar. More in Tree Fitty, that's for sure. But I do feel like, and I don't understand it either, Steven. It doesn't make a ton of sense to me either. Okay, so there's a new Cops and Crooks line, non-articulated figurines. Blech. No fun. Thank you, Skill Crane. Appreciate that. So I do encourage everyone that wants them to get them. I almost fell victim to the whole thing with the reseller. I know Bill did as well. He actually did. Yeah, couldn't wait till payday. I know. It's pain, man. It's a real big pain. No, they will not be sold in seconds. This is made to order. They will take orders for that whole 48-hour period. Now, granted, there's some fine print that they can cut it off anytime they want to, but I don't think they're stupid enough to do that with this particular figure, given the feedback and backlash that occurred with the original run. So I'm stoked to get him. Don't get me wrong. I'm very stoked to get him. I'm not stoked to wait, but I'm stoked to have him. That said, it's a little bit less of a burden for me personally because I have a custom Wondar that Nerd Rage made for me, and I love that figure. But I still want the real one, so it's a thing. But that should not take away from the fact that he exists and he's good. But I don't know what they're trying to pull, and I'm worried as hell about Eternia. I'm worried as hell about this idea of a Fright Zone. Steven asked if we get a loaf of bread with it. We do not, because that's actually a myth. That is not actually a Wonder Bread tie-in figure at all. It's just that's the Wondar is just kind of like a fan name that Mattel just kind of said, fine, whatever. It's actually Savage He-Man kind of a thing. But it's a whole other thing. Jim Largo, I'm with you 100%, brother. He says, I miss the days of going to the store and just finding things on the shelf rather than having to wait a year or two for pre-order. I agree, man. I even think that the 3 months that we're doing is too long. So, it's on one hand, technology is enabling us to announce things before they're available to get people excited and hopefully minimize the difficulty in finding something. And yes, Talus DreamStop does sell bread for Wondar. So there you go. So at any rate, there's pros and cons to the current market that are out there. And at the end of the day, I think we have more power than ever to decide what we really want and what we don't want. And at this point, I think that we all need to be honest with ourselves on what we actually want and what we don't want. So don't ever be afraid to hit cancel on that pre-order, folks. That's all I got to say about that. But thank you for all of your support, for being amazing here in chat. You've got less than 5 minutes left, so if you do have any questions about anything we talked about today, now's the time to bring it up. So I definitely want to make sure you guys are okay. Steven's like, my wallet will be a Fright Zone. You're not wrong, pal. Daniel Carhunen, nice to see you. Says Mattel waiting for a year is just greed since they're collecting interest in the money they got from collectors. I agree. Oh, banana bread. Yes, exactly. No one says it sucks having to wait, but at least we can get one if we so choose. I agree with that, but I also definitely side with Daniel on the idea that they're just collecting interest. Hey, no worries, Newcastle. No worries. Speaking of Newcastle, I'm going to grab a beer to go out on. I do have a design meeting with the Resurrection Toys team shortly after the stream, so I'm going to fuel myself up in 1 second, guys. I also wanted to share something with you that is totally off-brand, and you guys would never have expected this from me. The real reason I wanted to go get myself a beer is I needed to go to the fridge, because as we were getting closer to getting Wave 1 orders out, I decided that I wanted to get myself a gift. And what I bought myself was a magnet of my favorite picture of myself and my parents, who are no longer with us. This is from 22 and a half years ago. And I know they'd be really stoked, skeptical but stoked that we're doing this stuff. And they'd be very supportive of the endeavor. So I know my dad would say, oh, something creative that you can actually make money at? Okay, cool. That's what he would have said. I got a code from either Wario64 or Paternia. I don't remember who it was. But the code was you could get it for free if you picked it up. Otherwise, you pay shipping. So I ended up paying the same amount for it as pickup to have it shipped. I paid like $6 for it. But this is on my fridge, and every time I go to the fridge, I see my folks. And it's I have this picture framed in storage. So this for me was like one step closer. One step closer. So they are my heart, and I miss them. And I wish they were here to see all of this, but they're not. So I put them on a magnet. Nah, I appreciate you guys. Sorry to hear that, Newcastle. Thanks, Ben. Getting back to toys for a second, Brick says, speaking of Fright Zone, would Resurrection ever consider creating playsets compatible with modern toy lines? Yes. It is something I'm already looking into. I already have ideas, but we want to start with our own toys first. But again, this is something that I have one sculptor. I have one. So I have to be very judicious about where we put his attention. There's things he wants to do. So there's certain things that are coming that I want to give him time to finish, and things we want to expand certain things before we go in that direction. But playsets are definitely something I want to get into, but that's very new territory for all of us. That would take some time, but it is certainly something we'd like to do. Absolutely. Thank you, Stephen. yeah. Thanks, Burley. It's great to see that. Mom told me for years that she wished I could make money off creating toys. So I'm sure they're very proud of you. Yeah. Yes, it's Bush, okay? I had to go with what I could get at the time when I needed it. Besides, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's not hurting anybody. Except for me, I suppose. Hell, my dad would buy a case of MGD Light. It would last him the entire football season. It's kind of crazy. Coliseum's a cool idea, but when you see where the toy line is going, what I have an idea for a playset will make more sense. You're not far off, though. You're not far off. Largo says, hey, that's why he needs a motivational beer fund so he can buy better beer. Steven says, I just heard that eagle when you pop that top. At least I don't have the red label on top. Yeah, that's a good point. All right, enough about my beer. But thank you guys for everything, for your faith in me, the channel, our community, each other, everyone in this chat. If they have a YouTube channel, I want you to take the last couple minutes of the show, paste your link in there. I'm going to leave the stream live, even though I'm not on the screen, to make sure you have a chance. Paste your YouTube links. Support each other, because that's how I got where I am right now. And when I started collecting toys again, almost a year and a half ago, never in my wildest dreams did I think I was going to be the head of a toy company that does something that no one's ever done before. Dreams come true. Things happen, guys. Now, I'm not going to get rich off of this. We just want to make sure that Marcus is, properly compensated for the art that he does. He's able to make a living for him and his family, and that everyone gets some cool toys along the way. So, but just the opportunity to do that and to meet all of you and to, get into toys again and have all this fun, I never would have dreamed of it 2 years ago. So, everyone share your links. Everyone share your links. Everybody. Because support is how we grow. And growth is good for everybody. With that said, may all your card backs be straight. May all your grinds be merry. May you be able to find anything you're looking for at any given time at a price you feel is reasonable. We'll see you next week. I love you. Well, we'll probably see you at Will Stream tomorrow night. Cheers, guys. Good night. Okay, I'm an idiot. You can't paste links in chat. So that's 100% my fault. So take the last 2 minutes and just announce if you have a YouTube channel. And you'll have to do some Google searches. I'll work on it. I'll try to rewatch the stream or something. I'm an idiot. Thank you, Bill. You're right. I'm an idiot. Good night.